When my nephew graduated, I bought him a new laptop and paid his college deposit out of my own pocket. At the party, my brother raised his glass and said, "Let's hear it for the ATM of the family, Uncle Mike." The room burst into laughter. Then he smirked and added, "Relax. He's used to paying for what he'll never have, a family of his own." Even my nephew chuckled. I just looked around and said, "Good luck getting another cent." 2 weeks later, I did something they weren't ready for. Yesterday, he showed up at my door. "Please, man, I'm begging you." "All right, so I don't usually do this, but I swear if I don't get this out of my system, I'm gonna punch a hole in my own wall or something." Whatever. If anyone here is from my town and you recognize the street, yeah, it's me. Don't care anymore, TBH. So my brother, his name's Banks, yeah, that's his real name, not a typo, has always been IDK, extra with the whole family man thing. He's got this whole setup. Wife, Denise, one kid, Tucker, house with the ugly backyard pool, the whole package. And I'm the single brother. Never married, no kids, not really looking, just living my life. The thing is, I make decent money and I don't have to spend it on like 6 pairs of soccer cleats every year, so I guess I have more free cash or whatever. Doesn't mean I'm rich, just means I'm not broke all the time. Anyway, I noticed Banks started acting weird a few weeks before Tucker's graduation, sending me random memes on IG, texting me about some old Xbox stuff from when we were kids, even showing up at my place with takeout once like we were best bros. It was so fake I could practically see through it. But I went along with it because, it's his kid's graduation and I've always been close with Tucker. I'm the uncle who hooked him up with his Switch, his phone, stuff his dad couldn't afford. So graduation rolls around. Tucker is all pumped, college acceptance letter on the fridge, his buddies posting cringe stuff on TikTok. Denise is blowing up the family group chat with invites and bring a side dish and whatever. Mom's all over it, of course. I honestly wasn't even planning a big gift, but then Banks started hinting about how the college deposit was stressing them out. Denise literally said, "Tucker would be so grateful if you helped us out. It's just so much right now, you know how it is." So yeah, I paid the deposit. And because I'm a sucker, I also bought Tucker a new laptop. Nothing crazy, just something that would last him through college. Didn't even wrap it, just handed it over and said congrats. So the party is at their place, lots of Denise's side of the family, Banks's friends from high school, people I barely know. The backyard is packed. I get there, hand over the laptop. Tucker's pumped. Denise does this awkward side hug thing. Banks is already 3 beers in. I'm just trying to hang out by the grill, avoid the worst of the small talk, scroll my phone, whatever. Here's where it gets weird. Banks is being all loud, pulling me into convos with people I've never seen before, making a big deal about how Mike's always there when you need him. My name's Caleb, but whatever. He does this thing where he calls me Mike sometimes, as a joke, says I look like a Mike. Keeps talking about how Tucker's so lucky to have an uncle who cares that much. But he's got this edge in his voice like it's a dig, not a compliment. I start to get that feeling in my gut like I'm the butt of an inside joke. So later, Denise drags everyone over for speeches. Banks stands up, glass in hand, and he starts doing this fake sentimental thing, talking about family, how not everyone gets the privilege of putting family first, blah blah. Then he looks right at me, raises his glass and says, "Let's hear it for the ATM of the family, Uncle Mike." Everyone laughs loud. Like, it wasn't even that funny, but people are howling. Tucker laughs. Denise laughs. Even my mom kind of smiles, which somehow makes it worse. And then Banks just keeps going. Says, relax, he's used to paying for what he'll never have. A family of his own. And I swear to God, the silence after that was so thick you could choke on it. But then Tucker starts snorting and the whole thing just blows up again. Like people are literally slapping their knees. I look at my mom and she just looks away. So I stand up. I don't even know what I'm gonna say, but I can feel my ears are... I just say, "Good luck getting another cent from me." Not loud, not yelling, just flat. People go quiet. Denise does this nervous laugh. Banks kinda shrugs and acts like I'm being dramatic. Tucker looks away. I grab my keys. As I'm walking out, Banks tries to put a hand on my shoulder and I shove it off. He says, "Come on, man, don't be like that. It's a joke. Take a joke for one." I tell him, "You're the only joke here," and I leave. I hear Denise slam the patio door as I'm walking to my car. I get home, phone blowing up. Text from mom, asking if I'm okay if I'm coming back. Tucker just says, "Sorry, man," with a laughing emoji, which honestly made it worse. Denise, asking if I can at least Venmo them for the pizza because they overordered for me. And Banks, paragraphs about how I'm too sensitive, how he's just trying to keep things light, how I owe it to family to help out. Here's the thing, this isn't new. Banks has always been jealous. When we were kids, I was the smart one, and he was the popular one. But then after high school, he kind of stalled out. Every time I do something halfway decent, he finds a way to make it sound pathetic. I don't have kids, so I don't get what real stress is. I have a nice apartment, so I'm wasting money on myself. I don't show up to every family thing because what else am I doing with my time? I guess this whole grad party thing was just him finally saying it out loud in front of everyone. So yeah, I'm pissed. I didn't even realize how much until I was driving home, hands legit shaking on the wheel. And I'm not gonna just let it go this time. I texted Banks and Denise both, told them I'm done being their backup plan, told my mom the same. She called me dramatic, but I'm not changing my mind. Not this time. Next morning, I wake up to more texts, a couple missed calls. Tucker posts a pic with his new laptop on Snapchat, tags me with a heart, like that's supposed to make it better. Banks sends a voice memo. I don't listen, so if you're reading this and you're like, wow, harsh, I get it. But I'm over being the easy target. If they want to see what life is like without Uncle ATM, they can find out the hard way. And FR, that was just the beginning. I'm not going to sit around waiting for another punchline at my expense. They wanted a show? Well, they're about to get one. Let's see how funny it is when the cash flow shuts off for good. Update 1. NGGL. I was expecting some drama after the party mess, see last post, but not even close to this level. You know when you're just waiting for a text or call to pop up, and you end up checking your notifications every 5 I'm in? That was me for like 3 days. I kept thinking maybe someone would realize how messed up that ATM joke was, or at least that Tucker would shoot me a real apology. But nah, nothing but dry LOL, sorry man type stuff, at first. So yeah, I did what I said. I went full ghost, didn't block anybody but muted the group chat, stopped answering calls, left their texts on read. I didn't show up to the usual Sunday dinner at Mom's, just ordered takeout and scrolled through Netflix at home. Denise tried texting me for a recipe. I left her on delivered. I guess she realized I was serious because she started double texting. Hey, could you just send it real quick? Hey, Tucker needs help with his FAFSA. Hey, did you get those graduation pics? Nope, not answering. Kinda wild how fast things get awkward when you pull the plug. Banks didn't text for a while, which is weird for him, but Tucker kept liking my old posts on IG, and I could see Denise watching my story. Mom called me twice the first week, once to ask if I was coming for her birthday. It's not for another month, so IDK why she even asked. Then again to say I was making things harder than they need to be. I told her straight up, talk to Banks. She sighed and hung up. Here's the thing. I didn't just stop giving them cash. I stopped being their cushion, period. Like, I've been covering little emergencies for years. Last winter, Tucker's car battery died on a Sunday night, and I went out in my own car to buy him a new one because Banks couldn't get away. Denise had her phone screen fixed. I paid for that too. And there are at least 3 random subscriptions for stuff Tucker wanted that still hit my card every month. All those, I shut down. I called the companies, switched billing, sent them a text like, you'll need to update your payment. No apology, just facts. First real sign of trouble came when Denise texted me, can you Cash App me for the school trip deposit? It bounced. I just replied, I'm not your ATM. She left me on read. Next day, Banks calls, actually calls, not just a text. I let it go to voicemail. He leaves this long message about family and responsibilities and how you can't just pull out when people count on you. He goes on about how some people don't have the luxury to just walk away. I deleted it. I'm not playing that game anymore. So Friday night rolls around, I go out to this bar with a couple friends, just trying to chill. Tucker texts me, hey, can you help me with my laptop? It's not charging. I wait an hour, then send him a link to the manufacturer's support site. He hits me with, but you bought it. Can't you just fix it? I don't reply. 10 minutes later, Denise calls. I let it ring. She leaves a voicemail this time, her voice kinda sharp, saying she doesn't understand why I'm acting like a child and how I'm jeopardizing her son's future. She slams the phone down at the end. Next day, I get a call from Mom. She's clearly stressed, asking if I can come over to talk this out. I tell her, I'm not the one who needs to talk. She tells me Banks is having a hard time at work. Things aren't stable, and Tucker's freaking out about college. I ask her, why is this my problem? She sighs and says, you know how Banks is. She's not wrong. He's always been this way. Guy can't handle not being the center of attention, and he's been salty about me not having to struggle like him. He's always thought I had it easier, like my life is just one big vacation because I don't have kids. But he was always the favorite growing up. He's never really grown out of that. So now the real stuff starts. I get an email from the college. Turns out because I paid the deposit from my account, there's paperwork that needs my signature for some of the financial aid. I don't sign it. I forward the email to Banks and Denise and tell them, you'll have to figure this out yourselves. Banks calls, leaves a voicemail that's basically just him cussing. I don't call back. Couple days later, Denise actually drives to my place. I see her car pull up. She gets out, knocks. I open the door. She doesn't even say hi, just starts in. She's pissed. Says I'm ruining Tucker's chance at a good start. Says Banks is stressed. Says I'm punishing a kid for something his dumb dad said. I tell her, nobody forced Banks to run his mouth and nobody forced Tucker to laugh. She gets red. She actually shoves me in the chest. Not hard, but enough to get my attention. I just stand there. She says, you think you're so much better than us, but you're just bitter. I tell her maybe, but I'm not stupid. She storms off, slams her car door. The group chat starts popping off later that night. Tucker sends a wall of texts about how he didn't mean anything. And we just joke like that. And why are you making this a big deal? I ignore it. Banks comes in with, you're selfish, always have been. I should have known you'd bail when things got tough. I send one message. I won't be spoken to like that again. Don't contact me unless you're ready to actually apologize. After that, radio silence. I see Denise posting on FB about family drama, and some people just don't get it. Mutuals start DMing me, asking what happened. I just say, ask Banks. Now my mom's caught in the middle. She keeps trying to get me to come for dinner, keeps sending me guilt trip texts, but I'm not budging. I text her and say, if you want to know why I'm doing this, go ask Banks what he said at the party. She doesn't reply for a whole day. Meanwhile, Tucker's car insurance comes up for renewal. Guess whose name is on the policy? Mine. So I call the company, tell them to take me off the policy. I text Tucker, you need to get this sorted out by next week or you're not covered. He sends me a crying emoji. I just leave it. It's kind of wild how fast things fall apart when you stop bailing people out. They've all got their own group chats, their own family dinners. I'm not invited. Not that I want to be. Denise's sister tries to DM me on IG, says I'm being cold, but she doesn't even know what went down. Banks finally texts me after a week, just says, you're going to regret this. I laugh, don't even reply. So yeah, I'm not their ATM anymore, not their scapegoat, not their emergency fund. If Tucker wants to go to college, Banks can figure it out. If Denise wants to keep the group chat alive, she can find someone else to pay for her phone bill. The best part? I don't even feel bad. They wanted to make me the punchline. Now they can see how funny it is when nobody's around to clean up their mess. This is just the start. They think I'm bluffing. They have no clue what's coming next. Update 2. So it's been a couple weeks since all that went down, and NGL, I didn't even realize how much I was holding together for these people until I just stopped. Like at first you think, hey, they'll figure it out. Maybe some awkward texts, whatever. But nah, it's been chaos. Honestly, the little signs started showing up in dumb ways, like Denise's posts getting more passive-aggressive or Banks not showing up in the group chat, which is weird for him. Usually he's all over it with gifs and memes and fun uncle energy. The first real sign something was off. I'm at the grocery store and I run into Tucker's friend, Kinsley, who's usually chill, but she's all awkward asking if I know what's up with Tucker. Apparently he hasn't been on Snapchat, which is a red flag for his age group. I just shrug. She looks at me like, wow, you really don't care, huh? I do care, but I'm not about to spill family drama in the produce aisle. So I get home, and there's this email from the college. Again, but this time, it's about missing paperwork for Tucker's enrollment. Guess who they CC? Me. So I know for a fact Banks and Denise haven't sorted it. I forward it to them and just say, this is not my problem. Do not contact me about this again. Denise calls me that night. I let it ring. She leaves a voicemail. Her voice is shaky, not yelling. She's trying to guilt trip. Says Tucker's freaking out. Says Banks is working double shifts and she can't handle it. I delete it. Not my circus. Next day I get a text from Tucker. Just, why are you doing this? I thought you were cool. I don't answer. IDK, maybe he'll get it when he's older. Maybe not. That's not on me. Then I start getting messages from my mom again. She's not even mad, just tired. She wants to do a family dinner. Says things are getting out of hand. I tell her, it's not my job to keep the peace. She says, you're making yourself the victim. Which is wild because I'm literally the only one who hasn't asked anyone for anything. She hangs up. Later, she texts me a photo of Tucker and Banks looking miserable in the backyard. No caption. So, okay, I figure. Maybe they'll finally get it that I'm not bluffing. But Banks, man, he's stubborn. Instead of apologizing, he starts telling anyone who'll listen that I'm ruining his family. I find out because mutuals start DMing me, saying, hey man, you good? Heard you and Banks got beef. I just tell them, ask Banks why. I'm not airing every detail, but I'm not covering for him either. Then, it gets more real. Denise's car breaks down in the school parking lot and she calls me. Says she's stuck. Can I just come jump her? It'll take 10 minutes. I tell her, call roadside assistance. I'm not your backup plan. She yells, says I'm punishing Tucker. Says I'm heartless. I hang up. 5 minutes later, I get a text from Banks. Just says, you're dead to me. I laugh, not even mad, just tired. But here's where it gets messy. I get a letter from the insurance company about Tucker's car. Since I took myself off the policy, he's technically uninsured now, and they need a new primary. I text Tucker, you need to get this sorted out. He just replies with question marks and then nothing. 2 days later, Denise blows up my phone. Says Tucker can't drive to his summer job without insurance. Says it's gonna cost a fortune to switch it back. I tell her, not my problem. She says, you're not family. After that, I find out Banks tried to borrow money from my mom. She calls me, asks if I can at least lend Banks a little to get by till payday. I tell her, absolutely not. She sighs, says, you always do this. You act like you don't care. I tell her, I care enough to stop being treated like a joke. She hangs up again. Later that night, Banks sends me a DM. Just says, you win. Hope you're happy. I don't even answer. Now Denise is posting all over Facebook about unsupportive relatives and learning who's really on your side. Tucker posts a black screen on his story with just a sad face. Banks actually blocks me on everything, which is hilarious because the only reason he's online half the time is to ask for crap. The wildest part is, family friends are starting to take sides. Some of them, like my Aunt Sophia, text me, say they get where I'm coming from. Others, like Denise's sister, say I'm being cruel, but not one of them actually knows what Banks said at that party. I'm tempted to just drop the video. Someone always records these things, right? But I don't. I'm not about to start a war, I just want out. The last straw for me is when my mom invites everyone to her place for Sunday lunch and doesn't invite me. I only find out when Kinsley posts a pic of everyone there. Tucker looks miserable. Banks looks pissed. Denise is just fake smiling. No one mentions me, but it's obvious what's going on. So I call my mom, ask her, why didn't you invite me? She says, things are tense, maybe next time. I tell her, maybe never. I hang up. It hits me, for real, that I was the one holding this whole mess together. Not Banks, not Denise, not Tucker. Me, the ATM uncle. The punchline. Now they're scrambling, and honestly, I'm not even sorry. I know Banks treats me like this because he can't stand not being in control. He always hated that I did well without doing things his way. He thinks I'm selfish for not having a family, like my life is this empty thing that only matters if I'm supporting his. But I'm not his safety net anymore. If he wants control, let him control his own mess. So yeah, I see now how much they depended on me. And now that I'm gone, they're falling apart at the seams. And I'm not even tempted to step in. Not this time. But then last night, I hear a knock at my door. It's late, dark out. I almost don't answer, but I open it and Banks is standing there. He looks rough, like he hasn't slept in days. He just says, please man, I need your help. I slam the door. So if anyone in my family is reading this, I meant what I said. You're on your own now. And I'm good with that. Let's see how they handle it when there's no one left to bail them out. Next part's about to get wild. Final update. So I know most of you probably saw the last post and yeah, I meant it when I said I was done with the family ATM life. Like, I thought maybe a few more weeks of radio silence, a couple angry Facebook posts, and they'd get bored and just ice me out for good. But nah, Banks actually showed up at my door last night. I genuinely didn't expect that, not after all the tough guy texts and you're dead to me DMs and whatever else he'd been spamming my family with. It's weird when you see someone you've known your whole life standing on your porch and they look not like themselves. Like Banks is usually loud, red in the face, always making the room about him. But last night, he was just standing there, hoodie up, didn't even knock with his usual force. Just this limp wrist tap. I almost didn't answer. I figured if he was gonna yell, I'd just let him yell through the door. But something about him being that quiet, IDK, I opened it. He just blurts out, please man, I'm begging you. His voice cracks. Ingel, I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, but because I never thought I'd hear that from him. I tell him, you got about 5 minutes before I close this door. He starts talking fast, everything tumbling out. Tucker's college is about to fall apart. The financial aid office is calling nonstop. Denise is threatening to move in with her sister. His card got declined at the gas station. He's talking like he's about to get evicted, which TBH I kinda doubt. But I know enough about his money habits to believe things are probably bad. He tries to step inside, and I block the doorway. I tell him, you're not coming in, say what you need to say right here. He's looking at the ground, not making eye contact. I ask, where's all that energy from the party? He actually flinches. Then he starts in with, look, I messed up, okay? It was a joke, I didn't mean it. Everyone was drinking, you know how family is. Tucker's just a kid. He didn't mean anything by it. Denise is stressed, she's not herself either. We need your help, just this one last time. I just shake my head. I tell him, nah, you don't get to humiliate me in front of everyone and then come crawling when things blow up. You knew exactly what you were doing. You wanted to show everyone you were the big man, the family guy, and I was the loser uncle with the spare cash. I tell him, you wanted a family moment? Well, this is it. Welcome to how it feels when nobody's got your back. He tries to argue, says it's not fair, says I'm holding a grudge over a joke. I tell him, the only thing that's not fair is you thinking I owe you anything. I spent years bailing you out. Tucker's car, Denise's phone, your random emergencies. And you never once said thanks. Just made me the punchline when it suited you. You can't even own up to it now, you're just blaming everyone else. He starts getting mad, like he's about to raise his voice. But I step closer and tell him, you yell here and I'll call the cops, don't test me. He backs off, switches to begging again. He says, I'll do anything, just help Tucker. He doesn't deserve this. I tell him, you should have thought about that before you made it clear I'm just a wallet to you. I say, if you want Tucker to go to college, you figure it out. Sell your car, move in with your in-laws. I don't care. I'm done. He actually tries to push past me, so I shove him back out onto the porch. He stumbles, looks at me like he can't believe I just did that. I tell him, you're not coming back here. You're not bringing this mess to my door anymore. You want to fix your family? You start with an actual apology, not this fake begging. He stands there for a second, then slaps his hand against the porch railing and just stares at the ground. Silence. I wait. He finally mutters, I'm sorry. I tell him not good enough. You want my help? You apologize to my face for what you said in front of everyone. You call Tucker and Denise and you tell them you screwed up, not me. And you deal with the fallout. Maybe then I'll pick up your call. But don't show up here again begging, because you're not getting one more cent from me. He just stands there, then turns and walks off, not even looking back. I don't watch him go. Just close the door and lock it. I text my mom, Banks showed up, don't send him over here again. She leaves me on read. I check my phone later and see Tucker posted a meme about family drama levels expert, and Denise is posting inspirational quotes about learning who's really there for you. Typical. So yeah, that's where it landed. No big dramatic showdown, just a grown man begging on my porch and finally getting told no. Maybe he'll figure it out, maybe not, but at least I know I'm not the one holding this mess together anymore. If you're reading this and you're thinking, wow, cold, just know. Some people only learn when you stop saving them. I'm not their ATM and I'm not their punching bag. I said what I said and I meant it. Not one more cent, not one more favor, not one more minute of my time. They made the rules. I just started playing by them. And honestly, it feels better than I expected. Thanks for reading.